This is the vote, everybody. This is the final vote on final passage of red flag gun confiscation laws out of the U.S. House of Representatives. This happened only moments ago, just seconds before we pressed this live button. This is the total vote. You can see Democrats 219 yes, 1 no. Republicans 201 no, but 5 traitors joining the Democrats and voting yes on H.R. 2377, red flag gun confiscation laws, for a total of 224 yes and 202 no's on red flag gun confiscation laws, guys. This bill just passed Nancy Pelosi's House of Representatives. Please let me know where you're watching from all across the country. This is a red alert. We kind of knew that we suspected this was going to happen in the House. Pelosi doesn't need a 2/3 majority like they need in the Senate. Okay, so they need a simple majority. They had that simple majority, and they just rammed red flag gun confiscation laws through the U.S. House. Okay, do me a favor, hammer the share button on this video, share it with your family and friends. We need to get the word out on this immediately. And if you have not joined, I encourage you, go to www.joinafa.org. Help us fight this gun control in the United States Senate. I've got more updates for you other than the passage of the bill. For those of you just getting on here, I'll throw this image up one more time for you. Here it is. Here is the final passage vote. You can screen grab this if you'd like to send it to your family and friends, so they know what's happening here. This is the National Red Flag Bill, H.R. 2377. You can see the vote totals on the bottom left there. 224 yes, 202 no. And you can see that 5 Republicans, and we're going to give you their names, 5 Republicans flaked off and joined the Democrats in voting against our Second Amendment rights. Now, their names, I'm going to give you their names. Do not forget their names. It is Fred Upton from Michigan, is a Republican who voted for red flag gun confiscation laws. Adam Kinzinger, no surprise there, from Illinois. He's basically a Democrat. We have Anthony Gonzalez from Ohio, who also voted with the Democrats in support of red flag gun confiscations. Brian Fitzpatrick from Pennsylvania, and Chris Jacobs from New York. They are the traitors who stood with the radical left and stuck a knife in the back of Americans, of gun owners, of patriots, and of all the people with common sense. And I want to be clear. This red flag bill, oh, we got to kill this call. Gun owners want to know what the hell's going on around here. We're going to tell you. We're telling you right now. This red flag bill is not a red flag funding bill, okay? Most of these red flag bills have been red flag funding bills that want to bribe all of our states, all 50 states, to implement their own red flag bill, okay? This was not that. This is not a funding bill. This didn't open opportunities for the states to pass their own red flag laws as they see fit. No, this was a federal red flag bill that applies to everyone, will allow, if passed by the U.S. Senate, it will allow virtually anybody to file a complaint, say you're dangerous, say you're this, say you're that, say you voted for Trump, or that you have guns, or that you wear a F Joe Biden hat. They can call you in and say, I think he's dangerous. And without a hearing, without being arrested, without anything, you can have your firearms seized, confiscated, taken away with no due process, no day in court. You don't get to face your accuser. They can just take them away. And virtually anybody will be able to make this phone call. This will be used to torment gun owners all across the country. It's totally unconstitutional. And again, that's what this bill would do. Not a funding bill. It's everything bad. Everything bad. So Again, hammer the share button, send this to your family and friends. We are calling this out. We're fighting like hell. The American Firearms Association, Minnesota Gun Rights, all of these state level groups, Iowa gun owners. I know you're watching on Ohio gun owners, Pennsylvania Firearms Association. The list goes on. I know you guys are watching on these pages. Share this with your family and friends. We are now pivoting over to the U.S. Senate, and we have had staff in Washington, D.C. the last 3 days. You've seen a bunch of their interviews. They've been talking with Marjorie Taylor Greene. They've been talking with Congressman Matt Gaetz, Congressman Mary Miller, many other champions, frankly, of the Second Amendment who aren't very well loved by their own rhino establishment, and they're loathed by the radical left. We're working with these people, doing everything we can possibly do to shut down this gun control push, guys. I need your help right now. If nothing else, right now, Moms Demand Action, Every Town for Gun Safety, all of these gun control groups are sky high, and they're hammering their members with requests for money. Help us ram this through the Senate. Help us get this done. Help us pass common sense gun safety legislation. Okay? We need to combat them. We need to be running ads in all of these districts. We need your help, and we need your help to fund this, okay? So if you're not a member of the American Firearms Association, I invite you, shamelessly, I invite you, please go to www.joinafa.org. This is the t-shirt you get with your membership, and this money will go immediately to start targeting the most vulnerable senators who may flake off and vote for red flag gun confiscation laws, okay? And we're going to give you a short list here. Now, here's breaking news. This is from Fake News CNN, who had an interview with John Cornyn from Texas, okay? John Cornyn, and of course, you can believe this because only John Cornyn would do interviews with people like CNN. But here's the tweet from CNN. Senator John Cornyn, chief GOP negotiator, just told me that no, he doesn't expect a deal on this week on guns. Quote, but having said that, we're making good progress. End quote. Cornyn said he is optimistic a deal can be on the floor by the end of the month. Okay? By the end of the month. So this is what we're hearing now from John Cornyn. This guy's a total traitor to the Second Amendment. And this is what they're pushing right now in the U.S. Senate. Now, here's a short list of a handful of Republicans who very well may get on board with the Democrats and vote for this gun control in the Senate. We have Rob Portman from Ohio. I know we have a lot of Ohioans watching right now. Pat Toomey from Pennsylvania. Now, of course, he's one of the architects of the Manchin-Toomey assault weapons ban bill from 2013. Okay, so we have Pat Toomey. We have Roy Blunt from Missouri, Richard Shelby from Alabama, and Richard Burr from North Carolina. And the reason these people are important is because they're all retiring. They're not running for re-election. Okay, so they, frankly, don't give a damn what anybody says because they don't need to pander for votes from gun owners anymore. They could stand up there and give Chuck Schumer and give Joe Biden the votes they need now to get this passed, but they will need more votes than that. Okay, they need 60 votes to pass it through the Senate. Right now, it doesn't seem like they have those, depending on what piece of legislation we're talking about. Here's a major problem, though. The NRA supports red flag gun confiscation laws. They're saying now that they don't, but they have in the past, they do. And so it's very possible between the gun control bill that was passed last night, HR 7910. Okay, we talked about that all day yesterday. And the bill that passed today, red flag laws, HR 2377. If there's one bill that Republicans will sign on to, it's going to be HR 2377, the red flag bill that passed only 20 minutes ago. Because The NRA supports red flag gun confiscation laws. They call them extreme risk protection orders. They're all unconstitutional, and they have no due process. It doesn't follow our system of law at all. And now some people are going to come on here and they're going to say, "Well, you don't know that about the NRA. You're just saying that." Well, I want you to watch this for a moment. It take about 20 seconds. This is the NRA's Chris Cox, who's no longer with the NRA now, but here's Chris Cox saying that they want Congress to pass red flag laws. Here it is.
Importantly, we need to stop dangerous people before they act. So Congress should provide funding for states to adopt risk protection orders. This can help prevent violent behavior before it turns into a tragedy. These laws allow a court to intervene and temporarily remove firearms when a person threatens violence to themselves or others. To be effective and constitutional, they should have strong due process protections and require that the person get treatment.
Oh, get treatment. So when your ex-wife from 20 years ago who lives out in California calls you in and has your firearms seized, you got to make sure you get treatment in order to get your Second Amendment rights back and have your firearms returned to you. Okay? This is what these people have been pushing, and this is why Nancy Pelosi's HR 2377 is likely the bill that Republicans are going to sign on to. Guys, what are you doing with the NRA if you're with them? Join the American Firearms Association today. We've been hammering the hell out of Congress. Our people are on Capitol Hill. They have been for days. We're going to keep fighting this fight. We need your help now to defeat this in the Senate. We knew it was going to come down to the Senate, and we need your help to get the ads out, to get the emails out, to get the direct mail out, to get the sponsored targeted ads online, the radio ads, all of these things in these targeted states, targeted districts. We need your help to have that happen. Okay. So please go to joinafa.org, become a member of the American Firearms Association, and help us shut this down. Now, you'll see on the ticker running across the bottom of the screen a website called stopredflags.com. That right there, if you click on that, or if you go to that website, it will immediately take you to a pre-written email campaign that will send an email to your U.S. senators telling them to oppose all red flag gun confiscation laws. Okay, it's stopredflags.com. You don't need to write it yourself. You don't need to look up who your senators are. You don't have to do any of those things. All you have to do is click on the link, type your information in one time, send that email to your senators telling them to oppose it. I can tell you that tens and tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of gun owners have already done this and are right now hammering on the legislature, hammering on the US Senate to oppose red flags. Now, there were a lot of people who said, "Oh my goodness, when red flags passes the House, it's going to be huge numbers. There's going to be 10, 15, 20, maybe even 25 Republicans are going to cave and vote for red flags because the pressure is so hot." Now, only 5 Republicans flaked off. Now, 5 is 5 too many, but it goes to show that all of the pressure that's being applied right now to the Congress and to the US Senate is working and making some of these rhino Republicans rethink their choices and their strategy to bail on gun owners and screw us all. Now, again, like I just read to you, John Cornyn says that they're not going to be able to get any gun control on the Senate floor this week, and it'll likely be some sort of compromise bill by the end of the month. We're not going to allow this to happen, everybody. You need to send your pre-written emails. You need to contact your U.S. senators. You need to join with the American Firearms Association so that we have the resources we need to pound the hell out of these people, politically speaking, and stop this from passing. For those of you hopping on right now, I just want to give this one more time for you. The U.S. House of Representatives just passed Nancy Pelosi's H.R. 23 2377. This was federal red flag laws. And there's the vote totals. You can see it on the bottom, 224 yes to 202 no. And you can see, 1 Democrat voted no and 5 Republicans voted yes with Nancy Pelosi on this federal red flag bill. This passed the House only probably 25, 30 minutes ago at the most. There were some pretty good speeches on the floor. Uh, Congress members throwing down with the Democrats, opposing red flags. There's the Waddler, Jerry Nadler, getting up there, attacking gun owners. Julie's asking who the 5 Republicans were who voted yes. I'll give you those numbers. I'll give you those names right here. Gotta pull those back up. So the 5 Republicans who betrayed gun owners are Fred Upton from Michigan, Adam Kinzinger from Illinois, Anthony Gonzalez from Ohio, Brian Fitzpatrick from Pennsylvania, and Chris Jacobs from New York. Those are the 5. Now, those are just the 5 who voted in favor of red flags today on the floor. Just last night, a whole host of Republican rhinos voted on a bunch of different gun control proposals. Here's just one for you. Um, there was part of the bill last night was Title One would raise the age from 18 to 21-year-olds to purchase fire rifles, and these are the Republicans who betrayed gun owners then. It was Mike Turner from Ohio, John Katko from New York, Fred Upton from Michigan, Anthony Gonzalez from Ohio, Brian Fitzpatrick from Pennsylvania, Adam Kinzinger from Illinois, Chris Jacobs from New York, Nicole Miliotakis from New York, Chris Smith from New Jersey, and I think it's Maria Salazar is her name, was the last one. So we had different Republicans betraying gun owners at different times throughout uh, throughout these different votes that were taking place over the last 48 hours. So it's not just those 5 that we read off. Give me one moment here. True. I'm reading a lot of comments. You guys are pissed. I understand. Um, I agree with you entirely. Here's a message from Emily. She says, "Are you telling me?" I just want to read this really quickly. I'll come back to what we're talking about. She says, "Are you telling me that the money I donated to the NRA in the past paid to make that video of Chris Cox supporting red flag laws?" That's right. You got that exactly right, Emily. The money you gave to the NRA is supporting the NRA's push for red flag gun confiscation laws. 100%. That's what your donor money went to. Defund them. They are not helping the cause, they are hurting it. It's frustrating beyond belief. This push for red flags would never have been able to take root. It never would have been able to grow. It never would have been able to sprout the wings it has grown over the last several years if it hadn't been for the NRA supporting it. Donald Trump supported red flag laws because Wayne LaPierre was sitting there telling him, "Oh, this is an easy one. This is an easy one. Give that to the Democrats. Gun owners don't mind red flag laws." And then they got slapped. They got slapped. And now the NRA is backpedaling. Now they're, "Oh, well, we don't really support red flag laws." That is the reason there are a whole bunch of Republicans in the US Senate right now who feel confident that they can vote for HR 2377 and get away with it. Unbelievable. So I just want so please stand with us. Our members are fighting like hell. You know who you are. You're phenomenal people, and you're not willing to go, "Oh, well." And if the day ever comes when I come on this video program and I tell you that the American Firearms Association has decided that um, we can find a nice compromise with the Democrats, we can pass uh, common sense legislation. And I think that all of our members should get on board. I think it's important, that we show that we can act in good faith alongside the Democrats and we can do blah, 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 blah. If the day ever comes that the American Firearms Association does a show like that, I want you all to immediately drop your memberships with AFA, cancel. I want you to cut your cards up and I want you to post your shredded membership cards all over social media and tell everybody that the American Firearms Association has sold you out on gun control. That's what you should do if the day ever comes that we do the things that the NRA has been doing to gun owners for all of these years. This is no time to be playing these games. It's time to stop this gun control in the Senate. It should have been stopped in the House. We need to stop it in the Senate. Michelle, wonderful Michelle from Marion, Ohio, just joined the American Firearms Association. Misty, I love the ladies. The ladies are joining from Canton, Georgia. I have a sister who lives in Canton, but it's not Georgia. Victoria, the ladies are flooding in right now. I don't know what's happening. Maybe my screen must be off. They must not be able to see. Powell, Wyoming. Victoria from Powell, Wyoming just joined the American Firearms Association. Jeffrey from Barberton, Ohio, just made a contribution to AFA. Thank you, Jeff, very much. Tim just joined at the $75 level from St. Louis, Missouri. Thank you, Tim. Amy just commented and said, I joined yesterday. Thank you, Amy. I'm telling you, like, there's nothing like conservative, freedom loving women. It's crazy. I hope my wife's not. Actually, she is because she's one of them. We have Anthony just joined from Niagara Falls, New York. That's cool. That's very cool. I haven't been to Niagara Falls in a long time. But I should go out there again sometime. We have Lori just joined from Emmett, Idaho. Thank you, Lori. We have Tyler, who just made a contribution for $17.76. I'm picking up on your 1776 right there, Tyler, from Plainfield, Indiana. Just made a contribution as well. We'll go a couple more here. Peggy, from Anacortes, Washington, just joined the American Firearms Association. And then we have James here. Where's James from? From St. Charles, Missouri. Definitely been to St. Charles before. Um, we need your help. I'll just say it again. This fight is moving to the U.S. Senate. It just passed out of the House. There's a list of Republicans who need to be pressured. People like people like Mitt Romney are already saying, obviously, that they're going to vote for gun control. So if you take the Rob Portman, Pat Toomey, Roy Blunt, Richard Shelby, and Richard Burr, if you have those five, you add on somebody like Mitt Romney, we're at 6 of the 10 votes they need. Um, I know I'm missing one off the top of my head. I know there's at least 6 or 7 Republicans who are very likely to vote for gun control in the US Senate. If they get 10, they can pass this stuff. We need to fight this. We're hearing jack squat nothing from the NRA. They're not saying anything. Um, they're sitting around doing a whole lot of nothing. Doing a whole lot of nothing. We are fighting. Lisa says she's so ashamed of Roy Blunt. Well, that's the thing. I mean, that's the thing. We I'm getting messages 1,000 miles an hour here. Most of these people don't actually believe in the Second Amendment. They don't actually believe in these rights. They use them as political talking points when they're running for office. 100%. I'm going to play a quick video for you. This was just sent to me. This is Congressman Matt Gaetz. Oh, hold on. We're going to get this for you. I'm going to do a share screen here, guys. Listen to this. I haven't listened to this myself, but we're going to get this pulled in here. We're going to share screen 3. All right. And tell me if the audio is okay. Pull this in here. This is Congressman Matt Gaetz, who has been, I'll just say this, he's been on fire for the last 2 days, throwing down in a way we have rarely seen against the Democrats in support of our founding fathers, of our constitutional freedoms, and he's not using weak talking points. Here we go. I'm going to play this, Congressman Matt Gaetz. Oh, we got it.
They wouldn't open. House Democrats were so worried about violence, they wouldn't open the borders, open the prisons, and then disarm law-abiding Americans who want to protect themselves and protect their families. Chairman Nadler says that Republicans shouldn't lecture about constitutional rights, but it was the last Democrat speaker, Mr. Cicilline, who in the House Judiciary Committee said, "Spare me the bullshit about people's constitutional rights." So pardon us for standing up to the Constitution and the very due process that ensures that we're able to have a civil functioning society in this country. Speaker Pelosi asked the question, well, if you knew when the next act of violence would be, why wouldn't you want to stop it? What is this, the United States Congress or the plot for the movie Minority Report? The best you could ever hope to have in terms of warning is what we had in the Parkland case, where a neighbor saw Nicholas Cruz preparing for a school shooting, called the FBI, and because they were so focused on the bureaucracy, they didn't take action. And so that's why I'm against federalizing the regular police, and it's why I'm against federalizing the school police, because the more the FBI was involved, the more they botched the case, and maybe there were people dead who didn't need to be. These red flag laws violate our Second Amendment rights, our Fifth Amendment rights, and when they are done at the national level, they violate our 10th Amendment rights. And it is crazy that we are considering legislation to bribe the states to take rights away from our fellow Americans. And it's nuts that Republicans in the Senate, the very Republicans who say they're the classic liberty-minded conservatives, they're now working with Democrats on this very endeavor to federalize the school police and to engage in this bribery for the sake of deprivation of rights. Let me give you this warning, my friends. It is no victory, as Mr. Carbajal said, that in my beloved Florida, we've used red flag laws 8,000 times. There weren't 8,000 school shooters we stopped, probably not even 8,000 criminals. What we do see is that these red flag laws are used in divorce proceedings. They're used in every type of dispute, and it shouldn't be a cudgel that way. We'll stand up for the right.
Gentleman's time has expired.
We will.
Yes! Get him! Man, that was good. That is what we like to see. That is what we like to see. Nothing but truth. Unashamed, unapologetic. What we have seen a lot over the last couple of days is Republican politicians, often leadership, and they're down there doing these sort of prostrating themselves in front of the Democrats and sort of doing these very few people stood up like Congressman Matt Gaetz and fought that hard on behalf of our Second Amendment rights. And it's 100% true. You hear that? Florida is bragging about 8,000 red flag calls that have taken place in Florida. And of course, the Democrats are all sitting here, and many of these rhinos too. They're all sitting here going, well, we should be able to. I lost my train of thought. I was reading a bunch of comments here. He says we should be able to stop all of these crimes from being committed before they happen. That's what these politicians are saying. And like Matt Gaetz just said, he's like, we're not the Minority Report. We can't read minds. We don't see these things coming from 100 miles away. The most we do have is when people like Nicholas Cruz had the FBI called on them. They were reported for their mental instability and for the threats that they were making. And you're telling me that in Florida you stopped 8,000 school shootings? No. That was a whole bunch of law-abiding gun owners who had their Second Amendment rights trampled on because people just decided to call them in. That's what that was. And if HR 2377 gets passed, it'll be tens and tens and tens of thousands of gun owners all across the country who are getting called in. That's what'll happen here. I just wanna say thank you to Congressman Gates, who fought. Some people say, "Oh, they're just giving speeches." Look, again, we watched 9 hours of speeches yesterday. Plus we had our AFA staff on, Capitol Hill, and nobody was giving speeches like that. The Republicans were bowing their heads in many ways, and that's just not who we are. It's obviously not who, Congressman Matt Gaetz is. So that's good stuff. That's fabulous fighting. But now, again, the bill is out of the House, over in the Senate now, and we need to get this stuff shut down, over there. I just wanna read this comment here, from Mark. What about Hunter Biden? What about Hunter Biden? Oh, yeah. I mean, these people can commit gun crimes, and they don't get nothing happens to them. No charges, no anything. If you guys if we do anything at all, if we even breathe, if we even talk about what the use of the Second Amendment is, like, to stop tyrants, that's what it was for, to maintain freedom. God forbid if a government decides to become a total dictatorship, if we even talk about the foundational reason that the Second Amendment was designed in the first place, the left sits there and calls us extremists and violent and all of these things, when they're the ones breaking the law. They're the ones rioting, looting, destroying our cities, and getting away with it. I mean, even the leftist chiefs of police in cities like New York, even these people who are totally owned by the liberal mayors are coming out saying, "Maybe we should actually prosecute more of these shooters. Maybe we'd have less crime. Maybe we should do that," because they're not doing that. People are getting arrested and they're being let loose when they're using guns on crime. We're talking gangbangers, we're talking the thugs and criminals. They're not being prosecuted, and people are surprised when crime keeps going up. Well, if you don't punish bad people are going to keep being bad. And red flag laws aren't going to stop a single person. They're not going to. They will be used to abuse gun owners. They will be used to torture law-abiding Americans if this bill passes. And again, the NRA supports this crap, and they've been pushing this stuff for a long time. So, quick recap for you guys who are just getting on here. We have hundreds of people watching right now. Uh, Red Flag Gun Confiscations HR 2377 passed the U.S. House of Representatives about an hour ago. It's heading over to the Senate along with HR 7910 from last night. There's a major, major gun control bill is also over in the Senate now. We are going to be cranking up the fight here to oppose these people, to oppose this agenda, and to shut this down, to shut it down entirely. Every time the government gets involved, stuff doesn't work right. You just heard it from Matt Gaetz. I'm against the feds doing this stuff. I'm against federal school policing and all of these things. Let law-abiding Americans make their own choices. Your gun-free school zones are getting people killed. Your one-size-fits-all approach to all of these things, you leftists, is what's getting people killed. I mean, I come from a small town USA, little town in Iowa, out in the middle of nowhere, total boondocks. There's probably 40 people in the entire school. I mean, do I really need Joe Biden and the federal government telling me that if I drop my child off at school, um, I have to leave my pistol in the car because of this reason or that reason? Do we really need the federal government telling us all how to do these things? No, no. America was better when everyday Americans in their own communities who love their families the most, who love their neighbors the most, who know about their culture and the way they view guns or this or that, when they get to make their own choices for their own communities in their own way and take care of one another, um, that's when America prospers. It's when America is safe. It's when we're the most united. It's when America is the best. But every single time we take federal control, federal gun control, federal taxes, federal rules on this or that or the other thing, and we're gonna create another federal department for this, we're gonna create another federal department for that, and we're gonna push this over here and that over there. Every time that happens, shit just falls apart, just falls apart. And these people know it, but they're fine with that. They like playing God. We don't like that. Yeah, we don't like that at all. We should be able to choose. We should be able to choose what we want to do with our lives, and we should be able to make choices for our communities without having the intervention of doddering, drooling old fools like Joe Biden. Okay, we don't need geriatrics like Nancy Pelosi, who's so busy bailing her husband out for his DUI. We don't need people like Nancy Pelosi um, getting up there, passing laws, deciding what firearms I'm allowed to own to protect my family. I mean, she shows up there yesterday. Nancy Pelosi wasn't in the House chamber at all yesterday until the final moment before they passed the HR 7910 last night, and she comes doddering on in, and she gets up there. She's so excited, and she's holding her gavel, and she's whacking her gavel, and she's, "Oh, the bill's passed," and she's just like, just this, like, it was disgusting. It was grotesque. These people shouldn't be making the rules for everybody else. Off my soapbox. If you agree, hammer the thumbs up button if you would, please. Whatever you do, do not hammer the angry button. Facebook penalizes pages who get too many angry faces. So I know we're pissed about gun control, but for heaven's sake, do not leave this video on Facebook or on YouTube. Um, do not leave this with an angry face because that was the last thing you were pissed off at what just happened in Congress. So leave it with a thumbs up or a love or something else because that will definitely help the Facebook algorithm not totally screw us all because they're really working on that. Again, please, before you're done here, go to www.stopredflags.com. Send your pre-written email to your U.S. senator, um, telling them to oppose all of these gun control bills, and in particular, oppose red flag gun confiscation laws, which are unconstitutional. There's no such thing as a constitutional red flag law, in spite of what the NRA says. And that's the message that needs to be sent. We firmly believe at AFA that the big push is going to be red flags. Yes, they've passed a bunch of gun control bills. Yes, they're probably going to pass some more we're hearing about. But the big push, the thing that they're likely going to be able to get Republican support for is red flag gun confiscation. So those are what we need to hammer on as hard as possible. Um, and so that's why I ask you to go to stopredflags.com. If and one more thing, if you want your name read off on this live stream to thousands and tens of thousands of people who are going to see this, it's going to be hundreds of thousands before this is done. Um, join the American Firearms Association. Go to www.joinafa.org, and I will read your name live right now. Laura, I just want to read a few names. These people are the patriots who are putting their money where their mouth is, who are standing up and fighting on behalf of their Second Amendment freedoms. And I appreciate you more than I can possibly tell you after 8, 9 hours of bullshit yesterday. Just to be able to talk with you guys, to be able to see you guys joining up, it means everything. Laura from Rockaway, New Jersey, just joined at the $125 level. Um, you're a stud, Laura. I mean, it's crazy. You're fantastic. Thank you. John just joined from Hicksville, New York. David just joined at the $35 level from it looks like Republic, Ohio. Welcome to the club, my man. We have Brett just made a contribution, another $17.76, 1776. Just joined from Carson City, Nevada. Thank you for joining, Brett. We have Donnie just joined from Marble Hill, Georgia. Georgia's such a beautiful state. Be careful of Stacey Abrams down there. Let's see here. We have Donnie. Brian. Here's Brian. Another $125 membership. Thank you, Brian. Thank you very much. From Canton, Ohio. Just joined a moment ago. We have Randy just joined from Noonan, Georgia. Love having you guys on here. I hope you're all sticking around to hear your names read off because this is my favorite part. Denise from Raytown, Missouri. Denise, I've been in Raytown, believe it or not. I've been in Rayville as well. It's actually a beautiful place. I love it down there, and it's very free. We have William. William just joined from Bethany, Missouri. Missouri's coming in strong today. We have, let's see, Donnie, Brian, Denise, William. There's Joyce. Oh, Joyce. Where are you from, Joyce? From Eastland, Texas. I just got back from Texas last week, and I'm up in Minnesota now, and I'd sure like to go back to Texas sometime. Let's see. We have Melinda. Melinda from Attica, Michigan, just joined the American Firearms Association as well. We have just a couple more here. We have Jordy from Holdingford, Minnesota, not too far from me in Northfield here. Let's see. We have Renee. You guys are joining at lightning speed. I cannot thank you enough for that. From Monticello, Minnesota. Love seeing Minnesota come in strong. I tell you what. Renee just joined. Let's see. We have Nick just joined from Ackley, Iowa. Nick, I've been through Ackley more times than I can tell you. Actually like Ackley a lot. It's a beautiful little town. We have Lewis from Canal Winchester, Ohio, just joined. And these are all since the last time I read the names only a couple of moments ago. We have 3 names left here. We have Mike, just joined from St. Louis Park, Minnesota. Mike, St. Louis Park, it's a beautiful city, but your Senator Ron Latz there is a total communist dirtbag. So good on you for living there. Jeffrey from Eli, Iowa. And let's see. I know we have one more here. Steve from Walton, Kentucky. Kentucky in the house today. And let's see. Oh, a couple more coming in here. Misty West from Canton, Georgia. Canton, there's a lot of Canton Georgians. That's the 3rd one we've read so far here. Thank you for joining. Oh my goodness. 7 people have joined just since the last time since I started reading this list of names. Russell, you know who you are, Russell, from Marion, Ohio, just joined. We have Sheena, just joined in North Las Vegas. Let's see here. I didn't realize there was a difference between Las Vegas and North Las Vegas. Let's see. We have Nathan just joined. It just says from Minnesota. So welcome, Nathan. Let's see. We have John just joined from San Antonio, Texas. And another John just joined from Hicksville, New York. Guys, I can't thank you enough for everything you do, for everything you've done. I'll just say it again. We fought this very, very hard in the House, and we're now going to be pivoting over to the Senate. And the resources you're giving to us right now are going to be turned into ads. They're going to be turned into bigger email deployments to gun owners across the country. They're going to be turned into more communication with more gun owners. We're going to put sites like stopredflags.com, that email to the senators, we're going to be putting that in front of more gun owners, telling them what's going on, telling them to contact their U.S. senators. This is how we win, right? Politics is a numbers game, it's a pressure game, and it's all about who can put the most pressure on politicians. So you see Moms Demand Action, every town, Bloomberg's groups are all out there, that dopey David Hogg, they're all out there. It's all about pressure, right? Pass the gun control bills, pass the gun control bills, boom, 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 boom. All these press conferences and these speeches, and they're swarming Capitol Hill, all of these things. Um, and here at the American Firearms Association, we're doing the same thing. So our people are pounding on Congress, they're pounding on the US Senate. Don't pass the bills. Don't pass the bills. You'll pay for it in November. Don't pass the bills. Um, so this is the game. Mark says use some of the money to bash the NRA. Well, I don't disagree with you. The NRA has put us in this situation. I want to mention one more thing about the NRA. If you've ever watched any of these gun control speeches that we saw all day yesterday, you often see Democrats get up there and they hold up their big plaques, right? They got these big signs and it's got statistics and fake stats all over it. And one of the things that it always says is that 90% of gun owners and 90% of NRA supporters support universal national background checks or federal gun registration, as we say. Okay. They say 90% of NRA supporters or members support the gun control they're pushing. And they've been saying that forever. And my question is, I'll tell you what, if somebody came out and said, we took a poll of American Firearms Association members and donors, and we've determined that 90% of of AFA members support the gun control we're trying to push, we would immediately come out and say, like hell they do, that's a lie. That's not true. Our members are opposed to this gun control, and we would appreciate if you'd stop spreading total BS about our members to the media because it's totally friggin' false. But the Democrats have been saying this about the NRA forever. Oh, yes, all these NRA members, they all support the gun control. They said it all day yesterday. NRA members support national gun registration. And 87% of gun owners support red flag laws. Why are the Republicans? Why are these people standing in the way of this progress? But the NRA says nothing. They say nothing. Don't say that. Our members don't support gun control. They don't say anything. People are asking right now for the join link. Here it is. It's www.joinafa.org. www.joinafa.org. That is the T-shirt that you get with it. I'll put this up here for you. You can see that as well. It's right there on the screen for you. Joinafa.org. Let's see here. There's a few more here. You want me to read some more names? I want to read your names. If you joined, you deserve to have your name read live. This video will be seen by tens and tens and tens of thousands of gun owners, and you should be proud. You should be proud of standing up here. We have Michelle from Marion, Ohio, just made a contribution of $17.76. We have Mark just joined from Farmington, Minnesota, which is about 20 minutes north of me. Mark just joined at the $125 level. Thank you, Mark, very much. That is our premium Patriot level membership with the American Firearms Association. Some people were asking before I read these other names. Some people were asking about our lifetime memberships in the comment section. Lifetime memberships are $1,000 for the lifetime membership. And somebody was asking about, oh, $500 memberships. We can definitely do. Uh, a lot of people do, $500 this time, $500 next time, kind of pay it over a year kind of thing. If that's something you're interested in, we can definitely help you with that. Shoot us a message on the American Firearms Association uh, Facebook page, or contact us on our website, AmericanFirearmsAssociation.org. If you want to get a lifetime membership, that would be amazing, and we would appreciate you very much for that. But if you don't want to do it all at one time, we can definitely help make that easier for you. So Ken, who I just saw in the comments section, he just said I joined. Ken from Brandon, Mississippi, just joined. Thank you, Ken, for joining. We have Glenn just joined from Novelty, Missouri. That's kind of a cool name, Novelty. That's very novel. We have Joe just joined from Bay City, Texas. Not sure where that is, but I've come to love Texas after my trip down there just the other day. Kelly, beautiful Kelly, just joined um, from Null, Montana. Let's see here. And then we're down to Misty. So those are the names I have for right now, you guys. I'll give you one more once over because we keep having new people come on here. Um, Here we have. I'll throw this image up for you. This is the Red Flag Gun Confiscation bill that passed Congress about an hour ago. It's HR 2377. You can see there 224 yeses, 202 nos. You can see one Democrat voted no and 5 Republicans voted yes. Okay, those 5 Republicans, and I'll give you their names. I'll give you their names again. I can pull it up here. Uh, People want the names. Their names should be told. Everybody needs to know who these people are. The 5 people are Fred Upton from Michigan, Adam Kinzinger from Illinois, Anthony Gonzalez from Ohio, Brian Fitzpatrick from Pennsylvania, and Chris Jacobs from New York. And I'll say it again. Yesterday, there was a whole bunch of different votes on different portions of the gun control. We're going to be putting all of those people's names out because there was 10 Republicans voted with the Democrats one time, something like 14 Republicans voted another time, and then it was 5 Republicans voted with the Democrats over here, and they split this big mega gun control bill up yesterday, and voted on different portions of it. So it's not just those 5 who screwed us yesterday. We're going to give you a full breakdown of who voted for which portions of the bills. Maybe we'll put this out in an email blast. Um, that might be the easiest way to digest it. Maybe better than a video like this. Um, but if you went to joinafa.org, if you joined up, you'll certainly be getting our email alerts on what's going on. And if you help by going to stopredflags.com, you should also be getting our information as the days go ahead. So let's see here. I think that's what we have for right now. Um, I'll just reiterate this one more time. This fight is in the Senate, and we're going to be doing everything we possibly can to get it shut down. We need your help. Thank you for your help with this fight in the House. I'm going to hop off of here. I'm going to get on the phone with our staff in DC. I know there's a whole bunch of them still there. I know Chris and Aaron and Patrick were on Capitol Hill the last several days, talking with congressmen, talking with congresswomen, and frankly, they're being told by several of these people that well, they haven't talked to a gun rights lobbyist or a Second Amendment person at the Capitol in 2 or 3 years. So all the other gun groups that are supposedly all over Capitol Hill fighting on behalf of gun, they're just not there. They're just not there. The American Firearms Association is there. Warren just joined from Dushore, or is it Dushore, Pennsylvania? If I butchered your city name, I apologize. Eugene from Essington, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania is another one of those gorgeous states. The history there about the foundation of our country. I could just travel around Pennsylvania for a month and I wouldn't get bored. But right now we have to fight. Right now, we have to fight, and that's what we're going to do. So, guys, share this video with your family and friends. Thank you to all of those who joined. Thank you for standing with us, for believing in this fight, for believing in freedom, for hating these rat bastards who are trying to take away our freedom and destroy our country, because that's what it is. They're trying to destroy it, and the way they destroy it is by outlawing the Second Amendment, and it's what they want more than anything else. So share this video with your family and friends. Go to stopredflags.com, send your pre-written email. Go to joinafa.org, become a member of the American Firearms Association, and we'll be back with. We might do another live stream tonight with the guys from DC. That would be a very interesting one. I'm sure you would enjoy it. There's some things that you only see and hear when you're on the ground in the Capitol, feet away from the House chamber, talking with people, um, ripping people up when you see them, stuff like that. There's stuff that you only see then. So that's what I have for right now. I'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Maybe see you tonight. God bless you. Stay safe. Keep your powder dry. We love you. We'll be back.